morning. Our story today is a Jataka tale. Jataka tales are ancient stories from the Buddhist tradition, and that's where our story comes from today. And it's about a deer. It's about a deer whose hide, whose skin is made of gold. Kind of weird, kind of different. But he's a deer with skin made of gold, and his name was Ruru. And he could talk to people. Kind of different. But the thing was, even though Ruru could talk to people, he chose not to. Because he was a very wise golden deer, and he knew that if people knew that there was a deer made of gold living in the forest, some of those people might want to hunt and kill that deer for the gold. Not all the people, but some might. So Ruru generally stayed away from people. He felt like that was probably the safer choice for him. Except one day, Ruru went down to the river to get a drink of water, and when he got to the river, he heard lots and lots of splashing around and screaming. And he saw there was a man in the river. He had maybe fallen in or gone a little too deep, and he was drowning. And without a second thought, without considering whether he would be safe, Ruru went leaping into the river and saved the man's life. When they got to shore, the man was so grateful, and he said to Ruru, "Oh, how can I repay you? How can I repay you for saving my life?" And Ruru replied, which really did shock the man. Ruru replied, "I don't want riches or gold. I just want you to keep my secret. I don't want you to tell anyone about me. I don't want you to tell anyone where I live. I want to be allowed to live in the forest with no one knowing about me. That's all I ask of you." And the man whose life he had saved said, "Of course, yes, I can keep your secret." The man was kind of happy with that because he didn't have a lot of money, he didn't have riches or gold. So this was a treasure he could give. He could give secret keeping, he could give integrity. And so it went on for a couple years. The man kept the secret, and Ruru lived in peace in the forest by himself. And then one night, the queen of the land had a dream. She had a dream that there was a golden deer living in the forest, or living somewhere. She wasn't quite sure. And the queen believed that maybe this dream was true, and if it was, she really wanted that deer. That was really, she really wanted that deer. She had everything else in the world, but she did not have a golden deer, and she really wanted a golden deer. So she told her husband, the king, about the golden deer and about this dream she had had. And so the king made a reward. He offered a lot of money, maybe like $1 million, some ridiculously large amount of money, to whoever could lead him to this golden deer that his wife wanted, that the queen wanted. Now the man that Ruru had saved, the man in the river, he didn't have very much money, as I said. But he was a man of integrity, and so he resisted for a long time. He saw the posters advertising the reward. He heard all the townspeople talking about there was this reward if someone could find the golden deer. And he knew exactly where the deer was. But for a long time he resisted. And then eventually he stopped being able to resist that temptation for all that money. And so he went to the king, and he took the king into the forest and showed him exactly where Ruru was. And the king raised his bow and arrow and pointed it at Ruru. And Ruru said, "Wait, king." And then the king was very surprised because, again, talking deer. Ruru said, "Wait, before you shoot me, can you tell me who led you to me? Can you tell me how you found out where I was?" And the king pointed to the man and said, "This man told me." And Ruru looked at the man with sorrow in his eyes. And the man immediately felt terrible. And he said, "I am so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I let my greed get the better of me. I am so sorry." And the king was like, "What's going on?" And so Ruru told the king the story of the man, told the king about saving the man's life and the man agreeing to never share the secret. And the king turned his arrow toward the man. My goodness. And Ruru said, wait, don't do that. Not a good idea. The man has said he is sorry, and I am forgiving him. I will forgive this man for what he's done. The king was so impressed by Ruru's wisdom that he put his bow and arrow down, and he said, will you come with me to the palace to meet the queen? She would love to meet you. And there you can live in safety and comfort. I think you are a wise creature, and I would love to have conversations with you and learn from you. And Ruru agreed. And he went and he lived in the palace with the king and the queen for the rest of his days. And from then on, the king decreed that every creature in the kingdom should be protected and respected based on the wisdom he learned from Ruru. Thank you for listening to my story today.